So wonderful evening, friends. Before we start with the question, just want to tell you, you got a lot of time left ahead of you, and even on an exam day, 1 hour before, you will feel like you got plenty to do. That thought will always be there, so nothing to worry. You are already in shape to get that exemption. So keep these things in mind. We're going to see one important question which is frequently asked in your exams as well as RTP as well as newly added in the material. So let's quickly check out the question on first April 2021. PS Limited issued 6,009% convertible debentures with a fair value of 100 each, maturing on 31st March 2026. The debentures are convertible into equity shares of PS Limited at a conversion price of 105 per share. Interest is payable annually in cash at the date of issue. Non-convertible debt could have been issued by the company at a coupon rate of 13%. On 1st April 2024, the convertible debentures have a fair value of 6,30,000. PS Limited makes a tender offer to debenture holders to repurchase the debenture for 6,30,000, which the debenture holder accepted. So at the date of repurchase, PS Limited could have issued a non-convertible debt with a 2-year term bearing coupon interest 10%. Show the accounting entries in the books of PS Limited for accounting equity and liability component at the time of initial recognition, at the time of repurchase of convertible debentures. We're going to see how we have to proceed for this particular question. So first is the usual, you go to compute the interest, that is the 6 lakhs into 9%, that will give you 54,000, and in this case the market rate, that is a coupon rate, is the PV factor. So be very careful because some candidates tend to apply 10% instead of 13%. So if you do that, you will get the equity component as 84,282, which is nothing but the difference between the total profits and your liability component, which you will arrive as PV of interest plus principal as rupees 5,15,718. So the journal entry, immediately go and pass it. The mistake you should avoid is you should put bank to 9% debentures, but many will put bank to liability component to equity component. Some examiner will be very specific on these aspects, so that is the main reason we can sharing these things. So if you pass this and if you do this, 4 marks minimum will be in your pocket. So moving on to the second part of the question, at the time of repurchase of convertible debentures, you got to pass the PV factor for the at the carrying value and the fair value, the difference, so at 13%, 10% respectively. So if you do compute the PV factor, it will give you 90,072 and 93,690 respectively, and based on the two, will arrive the liability component. The catch thing in this, you should be very careful, is this, on the fair value, the computation of equity component, that is nothing but the repurchase price 6,30,000, which the PS Limited agreed, minus the liability component. So that will give you 40,710. Apart from that, nothing is challenging in this. Then the journal entry, you have to pass the 9% interest P&L account and to bank. So 5,59,872, nothing but your liability component of the carrying value, and the P&L 29,490 difference to bank, so 5,89,290. Then lastly, for the equity component, 9% difference to bank to retain earnings, 84,282, 40,710, that computation that we just discussed, and to retain earnings 43,572. So within 5 minutes we are able to discuss this all important question. So do ensure, do make use of it, and also ensure you don't miss out the test your knowledge very limited question. So keep these things in mind. Everything is going to go your way. Stay focused. There is absolutely no room for emotions. So whenever you feel nervous, just solve one more question and just take a quick walk or do something else. Keep yourself occupied. So all the very best. Keep your best wishes.